I think you're tapping into some genetic punch here that's going to be hard to find anywhere else. The cool thing is, aside from the genetic punch, this thing is extremely, extremely good in person. And I think anytime you can get the perfect storm of one's pedigree and one's phenotypic look in the same package, I think it's a recipe for success. And I think that's what we have here in lot 263 from Childers.
Our next gilt coming in the ring will actually be lot 261. This Chester gilt is from Brooke Showpig. She is sired by Backyard and out of a Jack in the Box sow.
Yeah, Brooks's Chester here comes in next, and I am reading through his notes, and it says that this one would have originated from the Sloan firm. Her first litter, she made the champion Chester bear at CYE and the California State Fair. Has a very, very good littermate prospect boar that they'll dump out later. And Mr. Brooks has been making good Chesters here for a minute. He's been tapping into some of the better Chester firms across the country. I think a really, really good Chester gilt and a very deep set of purebreds that we're going to see here today.
No doubt. Again, this will be lot 261, and Evan just briefly touched on the fact of her brother. Those of you will probably be able to see her brother sell there at perfect timing. Just a really, really unique creature that we've been hearing a lot of good things about that they're setting on. And here's one that you have a chance to and an opportunity today to make an investment in one that we think is very unique, but her value is only going to get greater as in the days ahead. Our next gilt coming into the ring is lot 260. She comes to us from Jervis Show Pigs. This spotted type female, I guess if you will, she comes here. She's sired by the Titan boar. Her mother would be actually a bipolar clean living sow. This is a crossbred gilt. We want to make sure that everyone knows that on the front side. That you're buying. She is spotted looking and looks like that she could give hell to anybody she wanted to in about any spotted ring. So you take advantage and get in where you fit in here with this one. Unique creature, lot 260. Go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, Big Daddy here, no stranger to getting creative with making some of these things, and he certainly did that here. It says Mama here was the Burkish gilt we purchased from Barn Burner Genetics 2 years ago. Gatson showed her all winter. She was champion Burke 16 times and grand overall at McLean County, third overall at the Southern Oklahoma Expo. Says the clean living sow on the bottom side there that's at Blims, and I do know about that sow. Has been very, very good. So this thing's pretty unique just from a build standpoint, and then you throw that collar and that ear set on there, and I think she could get real, real handy there in the Oklahoma Jackpot Winter Series because I think that one brings some really, really neat pieces to the table for a spot.
Again, lot 260, Jervis Show Pigs. Thanks to Drew and Crystal, mainly Crystal, there for that consignment. A real cool one coming in here next. Comes to us from Winter Livestock and the crew out there, and doing a phenomenal job. I had the opportunity to go by there and spend some time the other day, and a firm that's just you really have to admire what all they've accomplished and what they're doing, but more importantly, just the future and the focus of what they've got on the youth and their program and what they're doing. This is lot 259, this Berkshire gilt. She's a top shelf tink, and cool part about this one, there's a great story behind it. So, Evan, I'll let you share that.
Yeah, the winter gilt comes in next here, and it says in the notes that this one's a full mate to the 2023 champion Berkshire gilt at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. And I would just tell you, Todd, that as someone who feeds a few Berkshires these days, that one's maturity pattern and look and build and comfort, I think, is spot on to be absolutely lethal in March. And I think a really, really neat gilt that's got an awesome pedigree and looks like one that's going to be very, very good when it matters. Really, really nice one here in 259 from Winter.
Our next gilt coming in the ring here is lot 258. She comes from DL Show Pigs there in Texas. This gilt here would be a Rising Sun back on a Next Intention sow. Crone Crew sent this one up here. Proud to have this gilt here displayed at She Sale.
Yeah, Crone's dropped this 258 in here, and the Crone group there in Texas, maybe to some of these Okies aren't sure who that is or what they've been doing, but if you've paid attention to major Barras shows in Texas there last year, and even some of the gilt shows, you'll know that these guys have been putting together some very elite livestock. I like this gilt a lot. I think she's extra where she needs to be, but I think she's got some parts and pieces that are long lasting and are going to get her into March. I know she's out of the Rising Sun board there at Crone's, and they're happy about that pig. They're using him really, really hard, and I've heard a lot of good things about the Barras that have sold from there so far this fall. I think a really, really good one here in lot 258.
Good gilt here, lot 258. Thanks to the Crones, great consignment there. Next cool one here coming in will be lot 257 from May's Show Pigs, and just a really, really neat little blue gilt. And I think that's something we need to spend some time on talking about today is these colors that we get. And we talk about lights and dark crosses and adding the extra value that these blue divisions offer us whenever and wherever we want to go. And I think this is a great example to start that conversation. This is in the lot 257. One thing that I do want to say that I think is very important is as we see the set of gilts come through today, keep in mind there's such a wide window of opportunities to show here. We've had lots of text messages and messages leading up to here as, where does this gilt fit, or what all sizes are you going to have here? I'm just going to tell you that at all parts of the country, whether we're talking Georgia, Florida, if we're talking to California, or obviously here in the South, that may even want to be feeding hogs that goes on into the summertime, I'd say you can find that window that fits a lot of different opportunities here. So obviously keep that in mind. Here's lot 257 from Mays. She's sired by the white feather boar back on a Mardi Gras sow.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about these white feathers, and in Mays' notes here, he says the mom was a mate to the champion Division I bear at the 2022 Illinois State Fair and Reserve Grand Bear at Summer Type Conference. I'll tell you, there's a deep set of blue ones in this barn today, and kind of like Todd alluded to, I think a wide variety of ranges and places that you can show these things. Certainly think this one's big enough to get in the middle of them there in OYE, but if a guy had the right plan and wanted to show one a little bit later, I think this one could be real, real fun when the green grass starts popping there this spring. Really, really nice one here in lot 257.
Our next gilt coming into the ring is lot 256, and this is from our friends here at Gen 1, and proud to get them worked into to some of the sales that we've had here for with Kennedy Sales and Kennedy Ventures, and this is actually their first opportunity, and I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to get to see them more here later as the year goes on, but we have here lot 256. This gilt here is a picture of this back on a Goosebumps sow. So, Evan, you have a comment you want to share about this?
Yeah, I this gilt here is one that struck me in her picture there on social media earlier in the week, and then you get into the Sow family here, and there was a bear in Oklahoma last fall. I guess he wasn't from Oklahoma, he was from Arkansas, but he came over here every weekend and whipped our tails, and he was an absolutely just elite creature. And this one comes from the same mom as that bear there that Millie Foster showed last winter. I think a bred that Childers and Gen 1 tied into, and I think that was a very, very smart purchase. This gilt's elite in her look. She's comfortable in her build. She's got shape up high. She looks like she'd go show the first weekend. Really, really nice one here with the pedigree to back it up.
Our next gilt here coming in is lot 255. She comes to us from Pale Livestock. This gilt here is sired by Smoke and then back on track sow. And we've got a white crossbred gilt here, and you're going to see them come in droves with power. And here's a great one to start the discussion here.
Yeah, I think a real fun one out of the smoke board there of Lackey's. It stands at premium blend, and man, this thing, she certainly looks like she'd win a couple Yorkshire banners there this winter. But man, as a pig breeder, I'm thinking Salot, because that thing's skull and head shape and just jawbone and comfort to me just reads that way, because she you could breed her a lot of different ways, and obviously I think the home run would be to go ahead and make more Southwest Yorkshires. But that one there has got some outlying pieces for a white one, big arms, really neat look, and just comfortable and dense. I like that one a good deal there, and lot 255 from Pell.
Our next gilt here to hit the ring will come to us, lot 254, D&D Livestock. This gilt here is an and then some, back on a proposal sow. She's taking a break here. We'll get her in the ring here in a moment.
I was really hoping we were going to get to see Dronberger drive that one.
Yeah. Again, lot 254, D&D Livestock, Dronberger there in his crew, and then some proposal.
Yeah, Dronberger brings one, and I actually got to see this gilt a couple weeks ago at the farm, and man, she's only gotten better. The and then some thing's been good there. I've seen some good pigs there in the Midwest this summer out of him, and says here the mom raised the reserve champion dark cross at the Rio Grande Valley show last spring. And there was another mate that was 5th overall in the very tough Creek County. I think a gilt there from Dronberger, who's made some very good crossbred gilts there at the OYE in the last couple years. I think one that he's got a lot of faith in. I think I would too. Man, she's elegant from the side. She's got shape up high. Looks like she'd be ready to roll pretty quick, fast, and in a hurry. Nice gilt here from lot 254 from D&D Livestock.
One thing I would like to make note on so many of these Oklahoma ones that keep in attention, the Coba bred on those, and we'll touch base on that here just in a little bit. Lot 253, this in here comes to us from our friends Weimer Show Pigs. This gilt here would be started by the popular heavy hitter boar back on a backlash sow. So again, lot 253, Weimer Show Pigs, heavy hitter backlash.
The heavy hitter thing certainly has taken the show pig industry by storm so far this fall, and I think the cool thing is the bottom side of this one's pedigree. Her mom is a littermate sister to the mom of the Grand Bear at San Antonio last year that the Weimer family raised. I think this gilt just reads to me with quality. Her feet and legs are in check. I think that thing's got the right kind of texture, and just look from the side. That looks like the kind of gilt that feeds and gets to March and that we sell there on Wednesday night on the dirt, because she's just got those kind of pieces and looks like one that's going to continue to rise.
You know, I think Evan just kind of touched a point on that is, you know, so many of these gilts here that's represented from the firms are the elite ones that they've held back and saved for this event. But I think also that's one that one of the things that you got to keep in mind when you go to bidding and buying tonight is thinking about the resale opportunity and the opportunity at the end of this game of what it's like for so many of those kids that can make that sale at Oklahoma Youth Expo, and what those gilts potential, what they're worth, and what they bring. And you know, so much of that on that particular day from the resale standpoint has to do with how they're bred and what their generations of pedigrees are, and I think that's what's so unique about the entire offering that we're going to have here today. So keep that in mind as you're analyzing these gilts. Again, lot 253, Weimer Show Pigs. Our good friends at Hammock Show Pigs come in next here with lot 253, and I tell you what, I had the opportunity to go by the farm there and see their set of pigs there the other day, and he run this one out, and I thought, man, this is going to be a real unique offering if we're going to be able to have white ones that look like this there. And I mean, he just kept driving them in droves. But this gilt here, lot 252, she's sired by the Keep Cool boar, and that's the white boar there at Top Cut. And I mean, everywhere that you go, you see these things surfacing more and more to the top. He's going to end up being one of these that you're going to term as a great sire when you're wanting to make a white influence involved there. And then obviously this gilt here, her mother's out of one of the Genesis sows, and I know Evan, you'll be able to touch on that. But quality really deep there. The Hammock Group's doing just a tremendous job putting these white crossbreds together. I think you're very, very fortunate to have an opportunity to tie into one like this one here tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere right now that's putting more focus on raising quality white ones than the Hammock Crew is, and they turn them out year after year. Like Todd said, this one's a Keep Cool Genesis, and those Genesis sows are very, very good. This one would actually be the mother of the M&M boar that we bought from them last year that stands at our place. It's done a very good job so far. I think this thing's pedigree alone is going to give her value for the rest of her life, but then you just study her quality and what she looks like. I think that one could be very, very special someday in a white setting, certainly weekend after weekend, but I think in the sow lot, that one could get real, real good for somebody. I like this one a bunch here in lot 252 from Hammock.
Our next white gilt coming in is lot 251. This gilt comes from Barn Burner Genetics. She's sired by the OG boar back on a big step sow. So again, another white one. I know our voices are going to sound repetitive, but you don't have too many opportunities to tie into them like this one. And Blim and his crew saved a special individual here for us today. Nice to hear what you have to say about this one here, Ev.
Yeah, Blim's been on a heater here so far this fall, and I think this 15.8 will only add to that. Man, it does sound repetitive, and just the quality of white ones that are coming through the ring so far. In Blim's notes here, he says the mother of 15.8 was the Bronze Yorkshire Gilt at OBSE in 2022. The mother's littermate sister was Reserve Yorkshire Gilt at both OBSE and OYE. Genetics run deep in this gilt. She comes from the good York lines matched up with OG that just recently sired the Granite Colorado State Fair. So another really, really good white gilt there from Barn Burner. Looks like one that's going to feed. Looks like one that's going to get out and show and do what these white gilts need to do weekend after weekend. That thing is dense with a big arm and the hair dripping off of her. I like that one right there in lot 251 from Barn Burner.
Dripping. This next one coming in is lot 250, and from Winter Circle Show Pigs, this little red gilt here. She may not be the biggest one that comes through here today, but obviously comes through here with great might, and we're going to have a very, very good set of red ones as the day goes on here. This one here is sired by the Born This Way boar back on a next up Crying Shame sow, and I tell you what, you go and you spend some time there at the little farm there at the Kellyville exit, and it doesn't take you very long to gravitate to the set of reds that they're putting together. They're very, very deep. I know they're very proud of the set of the red boars that they have right now and what these pigs are looking like and what they're doing for people. Again, here's a unique opportunity to buy a young, fresh red one that you can feed right into OYE, and so many times we talk about it, the sizes and the differences you need to be. This one here doesn't have nothing but a future forecast on them, and you can do a lot of things with that one, Ev.
Yeah, it says here her mom was the champion gilt at the Arkansas State Fair in 2020, and her grandma would have been a littermate to the Reserve Duroc Barra at Tulsa State Fair in 2019. I love that boar that she was out of there last year at PT from Bedeker. I thought that was one of the better little Duroc male prospects I'd seen all fall, and I think this gilt represents that. She looks like the right kind that's going to feed. Feet and legs are awesome on that one. Really, really nice one here in lot 250 from Winter Circle.
Our next one to hit the ring here is lot 249, and this is the Seabury Show Pig consignment, and all of us around here has been hearing about this one, Ev, and I know you'll have some comments to share as well. But again, another one that's out of that Rising Sun board that you talked about there just a little bit ago, back on a Checkmate sow. A huge window of opportunity of things that you can do here with this particular female. Just study one, but I'll be curious to hear you share your thoughts.
Yeah, I got to see this one a couple weeks ago at Seabury's, and I know she's not very big, but man, that thing brings so much quality to the table, and Christian's been excited about her from the get-go. A good friend of mine there that I think does a very good job of seeing livestock, and I think this one certainly could get into the Division I at OYE and be hard to handle. But I think the real plan here is to hang around and show this one in April, May, or June, because her resale value at some of those places this summer I think could be unbelievable. Out of the Rising Sun board there at Crohn's, man, I just think this one has got so much good to her. She's not the biggest one, but she does pack a punch. Really, really nice one here from Seabury in 249.
Lot 248 comes into the ring next, and she comes from Hofschulte Genetics, and obviously a crew that needs not a lot to be said about in terms of what all that they've accomplished multiple times over and continue to do. And I know they got a very special female here that they're offering here at She Sale, and I know they've been very excited about her, and rightfully so. This one here is a Say It. Back on one of their key hero sows, and again, I don't know that anybody needs to hear much about the influence of what Hero has been able to do on the crossbred show pig industry. Again, it sounds repetitive already, but you talk about the value of a show pig right now, a young prospect, but think about the end result and the opportunity that you have when he gets ready to put in a sow pen or actually to remarket on down the road.
Maybe as wild and elite-looking one from the side as we've seen through the ring today. And I'll tell you that we've had a few of these Say It litters at the house and had some this summer, and they have fed unbelievably good. And they just come with that kind of look and that kind of presence. And guys, I'll just be honest with you. I think that's the kind that in March really shows up, because their maturity pattern, their youthfulness, and all those things allow them to be big, fat, fluffy show gilts that still look youthful, and I love this pig. It says her mom is a litter mate to Sidekick, standing there at Top Cut. Congratulations to the Hofschulte firm. I think that's a very, very nice one, lot 248.
Next one in here is lot 247, and comes to us from the group there at Mesner Show Pigs, just there north side of the line up there. And again, another one of these that we talked about, unique opportunity with this red female. She's sired by the Born This Way boar there that stands at Winter Circle we talked just a moment ago, and then back out of a Bury My Bones sow. And heard a lot about this one, knew that she was laying there in the weeds, waiting on She Sale to get here, and was excited for her to make the trip. And now there she is, Evan.
Messners are good folks with good show pigs, and this one's a Born This Way, Bury My Bones. Says that this one's mother is a littermate to Boomer there at High Point Genetics, and obviously sired by Born This Way, who needs no introduction. That boar's done a tremendous job. I think a deep set of red gilts here today, and I think one that definitely needs your consideration, because this one's got big arms and got shape up high and is comfortable out here. I think a really, really nice one from the Messner crew, lot 247.
Lot 246 is the next one in. It's Poland time here with Staten Farms. This one here is a quick trigger back on a Cobra sow, and obviously another firm that's been very dedicated to the Poland breed. Lots of time and effort goes into that and putting these things together. They should do as good a job on a consistent basis of putting champion Poland females out there in the big ring, whether we're talking OIE, San Antonio, Houston, or any of the Midwest shows and state fairs. I mean, they do just a very, very good job. Here's a good quality, good high-end, high-quality Poland female that's just really sound and floats around the ring. You got to like this one, lot 246.
I know we're in the South, and crossbred gilts drive the market, it seems like a lot of times, but the purebred gilts in this barn today, I think, are absolutely phenomenal. Our little buddy Staten brings us a very, very nice quick trigger there. I saw some of those in the South this time that he sold there in some of these Texas live sales, and I thought they were extremely good. His note says that the Cobra sows a litter mate to the reserve champion Poland gilt at the 2022 exposition. Grandma raised a third overall Poland gilt at 23 San Antone that we sold at PT, and she's raised a third overall Poland bear at the 21 exposition. So this is only the second quick trigger gilt to be offered to the public for purchase. Those of you that are Poland breeders, I think you really need to pay attention to that, because I think that's a breath of fresh air in that breed, and a boar that looks like he's going to do a very, very good job. This is going to be lot 246 from Staten.
Real unique opportunity coming in next here with lot 245 from Rochelle Livestock. This gilt here is a purebred landrace female. We don't get the opportunity to see all these a lot of times here in this country, and particularly one that of this caliber and with this kind of story behind it. She's sired by the Cracker Jack boar, and then her mother would be the popular Play by the Rules sow. Evan, you can read there the storyline behind this one that comes, but I think the real story is look in the ring when you're wanting to find a landrace female that truly has density, structure, hair, mass, bone, all the things we look and talk about in all the other breeds. I think this right here is a phenomenal female.
Yeah, this landrace thing's growing at a rapid pace here, especially in Oklahoma, and man, I think this is a gilt that certainly needs to be on your list if you're looking for a landrace gilt, because that one's kind of got some things that most land races don't have. It says here that this gilt was out of a bred purchase from Plaid. Her mother is a mate to the champion and reserve champion gilts and the reserve bear at the 2023 Southeast Regional. Very, very nice gilt here in lot 245.
Yeah, lot 245, purebred landrace, Rochelle Livestock. Our next one coming in the ring here will be lot 244. She comes to us from our good friend there at Sweetgrass Livestock, a.k.a. Dr. Genova. Proud to have this one here. Purebred York gilt, sired by the Fireaway boar, back on a Boz sow.
Yeah, Dr. Genova, a good friend of ours, and certainly our vet there at the house, and says this gilt's dam was raised here and was the reserve champion Yorkshire gilt at the 22 Tulsa State Fair for the Weeks crew. She hung a couple other banners that summer. Fireaway 6-2 was the champion Yorkshire boar at Belton. That was an eye catcher every time he walked by. I'll tell you this, Dr. Genova has really stayed the course in terms of breeding purebred Yorkshires. She would have raised the high-selling Yorkshire gilt there at OIE last year, and anyone that saw that female, I think you'll remember which one I'm talking about. Man, I've watched these over the years of her making these, and they just continue to get better. They continue to feed. This one here, for a Yorkshire female, her feet and legs all go the right way. She's got some shape up high. She's got some look. I think her shoulder sets where it needs to for a Yorkshire. And you study her front foot, and it looks like it's going to last, and it's going to hang in there. Really, really nice one here from Sweetgrass Livestock, 244.
Our next gilt to come in the ring is lot 243, and proud of this particular female. herself and what she represents, but more importantly, even just the family doing this and the way that they're going about doing it. Real proud of what the Klein Swine team has done and been able to put together and concentrating on these Chesters particularly. And man, I tell you what, snuck through there the other night, seen this guild, and I told them then it's a great female, and she was just going to add that much more value to what I thought was going to be an awesome set of Chester females that we were going to have here today. I come out and made the statement earlier this year that after my travels, I think Chesters may very well be the best breed of pigs I've seen day in and day out, farm after farm that I've been to, and this is just another example of a very high-end, high-quality one. Lot 243, this gilt here would be a perfect game out of a custom-made sow.
Yeah, whoa, is what you say when this one walks in, because that thing is busted wide open up high and got the big-time shape with a neat neck that these Chesters need to have. My buddy Cooper Klein has been doing a good job of making these things, and out of that boar there at his house and the good custom-made Roscoe sow, man, I like this one a whole bunch to go ahead and feed. That's lot number 243 from Klein.
Lot 242 is the next one to hit the ring here, and this is a spot gilt from Jennings Show Pigs, and those of you that run the spot rings, you obviously know what that firm has been able to do, and time again. This gilt here would be a time change back on a smoke show sow, lot 242.
Yeah, this Jennings spot deal, I think, just continues to surface and continues to be good. And says this one is out of the sow that he calls Smoke Show, the best spotted female they've made to date, period. She would have won a bunch of jackpots there. I remember that gilt, including the grand overall in a very tough Mays County for Coy Craig. The unique thing about this gilt, Todd, is she's going to sell with 2 doses of Titan. So her new owner, whether you want to keep this thing and you want to take her home and breed her, she's going to come with 2 doses of Titan there, the very popular spotted boar. And then obviously if you want to sell her at OYE, she sells at OYE, and you can handle that from there. But I think that's a really neat thing that Jennings offered there to go ahead and give the new owner 2 doses of that boar, and that semen's been hard to get. Really nice kind of a gilt here in lot 242.
This next one hitting the ring here is lot 241, and she drops in from Heimer, Hampshires, and this is obviously a purebred Berkshire female, and I know this is one, just talking to Jesse there and the crew on the hill, I know that they were very excited and proud of this one, and this just exemplifies an extremely high-end, high-quality Berkshire female that I think is ready to rock and roll, but this will be one that'll be ready to play big time there. I think come whenever you want to go and show there when March rolls around. I mean, this is an extremely good female, lot 241, Berkshire, sired by the Dig Deep boar, which stands there at top cut. Not a lot of litters out of that boar, but those of you that seen him, I think, know what to expect. And I think this is a great example. Then this is out of a House of Cards sow.
You know, Jesse's a talented breeder, and, I think a lot of times when we think of his place, we think of crossbreds, and then we think of Hampshires, and then recently we've thought of Durocs and all the different things. But over the years, Jesse has quietly assembled an unbelievable set of Berkshire sows, and they have won on the highest levels across the country, and he probably doesn't do the best job of promoting that, and I think he would tell you that himself. But, man, this Berkshire gilt to me just screams quality. I don't know what this one's age is. But man, she is comfortable. She's immature. She looks like she'd feed. I really, really like this one. Says here in the notes that this pedigree combines both of his best outside the line daughters that we've had in our program over the years. So I think that's really neat from a genetic package. Really nice one here from Jesse, lot 241, Heimer Hampshires.
The next gilt to come in the ring will be lot 240 out of the Savage consignment. This crossbred gilt here to be sired by the Frankenstein boar, obviously back out of a no introduction sow. That Frankenstein boar is a boar there that Donnie was able to raise out of the bred purchase from Sproul there out of the exchange a few years ago. That boar himself would be quite frankly bred back to his aunt. So very entrenched, deep pedigree, very similar to many of those that you'll see at the Gray Firm, at the Hilty Firm, and all. That's what that boar is, sired by as the sire of this particular gilt, and then out of a no introduction sow.
Yeah, Donnie, I got to stop by Donnie's there when we were looking for Denver ones, and then was there last week for the Backyard Bash. And this Frankenstein boar is going to work, guys. Those pigs have been very, very good so far at his place. And this gilt being lined up the way her pedigree is, I think just kind of brings more value to the table for her. There's a lot of that, quite frankly's mom there in that one's pedigree, and I think that's very, very intriguing. Really, really nice gilt here from Donnie. That'll be lot 240 Savage.
Next one here is lot 239, and another one from Savage Gilts. This is the purebred Hampshire gilt. She's sired by the Two Dogs boar, and she's back out of an influence sow there that we actually, as a gilt that we purchased there at Belton a couple of years ago. That was the Great House gilt that showed and was very dominant there in the Texas majors. I know they're at San Antonio and Houston. We bought that gilt there. And we've been able to keep some daughters. This is one that, just to be truthful with you, we should never be parting with, never should be letting go. But with the time frame that it is, where she fits, I think this is an extremely, extremely good big ring kind of a Hampshire gilt for those that want to get in the middle of it. I'll just tell you, these things are not the easiest to put together. They're not the easiest to raise, but their dollar value and worth is absolutely astonishing when you can find a good one. And there's not many that look like that that you get offered to the public at this stage. So that one's lot 239. Evan, you got any comments?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I want to hoard gilts at our house just as bad as what it sounds like you do. But when you have ones like this that look like they can get out and they can go win a banner and take a picture and get somebody's knees wet, I think you got to do that because, man, this is a very, very good Hampshire gilt that's got just all the parts and pieces you would ever want in a Hampshire female. She looks like she's going to feed, and she's going to continue to get better. She's the perfect size. Really, really nice one here from Savage in 239.
Our next gilt here will come into the ring will be lot 238, Chad Day Show Pigs, and obviously Chad will have a pair of these gilts, no different than Savage, and he does every time. Obviously, he's our auctioneer here tonight, and we sell our two, and we always sell his two kind of right there in the middle part of the sale at all the events that we do. But this gilt here is a purebred Yorkshire from Chad Day Show Pigs. This one's sired by the Money Shot boar back on a majority rule sow. I think anybody that's followed the Yorkshire breed in the industry of the success that he's been able to do and continue to do and will continue to do time and time again. You don't get we talk about you don't get a lot of opportunities to lie in and get high-end, high-quality ones, but you better take advantage when you do, and we have one of those times right now with lot 238.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Todd, I'm not going to be a Yorkshire pedigree connoisseur. I don't know a whole bunch about them, but at 2 a.m. last night, when you and I came up here to shut this barn down and water a few of these things, this pig stood up, and I didn't know who she was. I knew she was a purebred Yorkshire, but I really, really like this one. This one kind of woke me up there last night, and she looks equally as good out here today. These purebred Yorkshire gilts are hard to make right now, and they're even harder to find. Chad is no stranger to that. He's done it for a long, long time. Lot 238 from Chad Day.
Here's Chad's other gilt here, lot 237. This gilt here is a dark cross. She'd be out of the cotton napping boar, and I tell you what, we talk again about boars that we're seeing pigs starting to surface out of, and you're going to hear and see that name pop up more and more and more as we continue to go later in here into the fall, into the show pig season. This is out of one of those honor society sows that Chad has there at the farm. I know that this one here is probably not the one that he really wants to be turning loose and selling. He knows what it's been, what it takes down here to play in this game. He's judged there in that ring there at OIE. He knows what you got to turn loose, and he's giving you that opportunity with this one right here.
Yeah, Todd, I think you're spot on in terms of this one's maturity pattern to get to March and to look the right way. And I commented that about another gilt that we saw earlier, but I really believe in that, of just her youthfulness up front, but still being heavy duty in terms of her structure and looking like she's going to keep on coming. Man, I get into that one pretty hard and heavy. Cotton Appendale's been good so far. That's going to be lot number 237, Chad Day Show Pigs.
The next gilt here to hit the ring is lot 236. She comes to us from True Genetics, our friends there in the Midwest. And I tell you what, I don't know if there's been a firm that has consistently dropped out high-end quality show pigs every week for the entire season is what this bunch here has done. Brian and Ryan and the crew there has just done a remarkable job, and rightfully so. I mean, if you look at the investment they've made in that sow herd and putting those genetics and quality together, that's why. And that's also correlates to the fact of what opportunity that you have here in this particular female. She's sired by the Mi Amigo boar and back on a king sow. Again, a Mi Amigo is going to be one of those boars you're going to hear more and more about. That was a boar that I think that JD acquired from the Trace crew, and then now has made his way up to upper hand. But them Mi Amigos have been very, very popular, and I think you can see why when you look at a gilt like this.
Yeah, our good friends at True, man, they are making good stock right now, and says this gilt is out of the King Deuces sow that originated from GNS and has been an absolute gamer. In 3 litters, she made 2 stud boars, Black 22 and Face Off. Barra that won nearly every show he went to in the May and August that was shown by the Medley family. They're a very popular power female gilt there, and now 3611 our entry for the she sale. And man, Todd, I don't know about you, but this one lights me up a good deal just in terms of being a show gilt that's stout. She's dense. She's got the right kind of paint job. That thing can get out here and go with the best of them. Really, really nice gilt here in lot 236 from True Genetics.
Lot 235. This blue gilt comes in next from Holt Livestock, and this gilt here that John Mark has got for us on display. We talk about good show pigs. We talk about great genetics. We talk about what you can do with those genetics and so on. But not only do we have an extremely high-end, high-quality blue butt gilt here, this one is sired by the in-game boar. I don't think anything has to be said about that. And then, obviously, this is out of one of those cricket sows. So, in-game crickets, if that's not intriguing enough to you then take a look at what you got in there to show on top of it.
Yeah, I've never honestly understood why breeders would sell ones that look like this, and I understand they can win gilt shows, but golly, this thing's sow lot potential to me is just off the charts, especially when you study the way she's bred in-game crickets, and I know that was a very, very good purchase there from Jesse, the high seller there at 18,000 as an open gilt, and man, this one's hip and hind leg is just a quintessential in-game speed, and man, she's just it just blows my mind, honestly, John Mark, that you would sell one that looks like that. I think an awesome show gilt, but I think a sow that's just going to rise to the top there as somebody's heard. That one leaves me a little speechless there. That's going to be lot 235 from Holt.
Our next gilt here to come into the ring is lot 234 and comes to us from Keplinger Farms. And I know Keppy's been, he's very, very excited about this female, and he has been for quite some time. This is actually the very first gilt that I got a picture of there, of this one, and of being his she-sell consignment. I know this one's been slated for quite some time to make her debut here in Wellston. She's sired by the picture of this boar. And again, we talk about young boars that we're going to that we've seen do a good job already and going to continue to see over and over. This picture of this deal is going to get very, very hot for it's all said and done. And it certainly doesn't hurt anything that this one has a tricked out mama. So we talk about the value of the animals today. We talk about what they look like today, but more importantly, think about what their future looks like, that future resale, that future herd builder, whatever it is that you want to do with her, you can tie into ones like this every day and do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, Keplinger, certainly no stranger to winning shows, and says her mom was the grand overall at the Ohio State Fair in 2022 for Evan Henry, and something we don't talk about enough as an industry. She's had 20 pigs in her first 2 litters. And her first litter raised the Reserve Grand Market gilt at Ohio State Fair, along with the 6th overall Division III at Ohio as well. Man, a gilt that's got quality, just oozing off of her. The paint job reads elite to me. Just her build and her hind leg and comfort and ability to put her heel down to the surface and bend it backwards, I think is incredible. And then you read his notes here, and he talks about the mom and how good of a pig raiser she is. That gets a guy like me fired up and wanting to stick his hand in the air. I like this Keplinger gilt, lot 234.
Following suit, the next one to come into the ring is lot 233 from Corb Farms, and David obviously ain't going to ever leave town and land in a spot without bringing something that's special. And this one here not only that brings the different color and the unique type and kinds of color and the traits, but look and just study all of the extras that come along with it. This one here is sired by the Buckle Up boar, and then back on a no-huddle sow. So kind of speaks for itself. Look in the ring here.
Yeah, Corb, a guy that puts a lot of emphasis on females and knows those sow lines for generations back. I think it's always interesting to talk pigs with him, just to hear his thoughts and the things that he says. And buying females from Corb has worked out very, very good for breeders all across the country here the last few years. It says here the Grand Dam is 99.2, which is his favorite sow on the farm, and the mother of his grand at Nail a couple years back, and the 4th overall at Louisville last year. Man, I think a calico gilt that just oozes quality again. Big legs, comfortable. That thing's shoulders awesome. Her head shape's awesome. Been down here from Ohio yesterday, got in, filled back up, looks great. Congrats to Corb. That's lot 233 from Corb Farms.
Next gilt in here is lot 232. This gilt here is from Lance Ryan. She sired about the Play to Win boar. That was the boar, I believe, that was purchased there out of Perfect Timing last year, and then back on a proposal sow. And again, Lance is another one of those that when he drops one in, it usually comes with a great deal of accolade and some seriousness about it in terms of knowing that they're going to be competitive. And it seems like when Lance Ryan has a good one, them things are elite. And when they hit the ring, they dominate. And I think this one here has all those same attributes when you study and look at one and what her qualities are and what she looks like from a futuristic standpoint.
It's funny you say that, Todd, about Grumpy Lance, because he does know what it takes to compete here. And in his notes, he said 15-3 is truly a hard one to let go, but I know what it takes to compete in Oklahoma, and I truly feel she's the right kind. And truer words have never been spoken. Lance really does know what it takes to compete in Oklahoma, and has been responsible for as many good show gilts that have ran across the chips here in Red Dirt Country over the years as anyone. I think this gilt is extremely good out of the Play to Win bore, lot 232 from Lance Ryan.
Our next gilt in the ring is lot 231 from Halfin Show Pigs. Jared obviously needs no introduction in terms of what the pigs are that he's doing and what he's putting together. This gilt here would be a Say It, and then she would be back out of a no introduction Sal.
Yeah, Jared's a good buddy of mine, and another one of these Say It's that comes in here, and I'm telling you, I like these pigs, and I like the way that they're feeding. This is a sow, this no introduction sow is a sow that's done an extremely good job for him. And it says here, we have built our name by intentionally not selling our best females, but once a year we make an exception to that philosophy for this sale, and 19.6 is as wild as we can make. And I think that's true. I think 19.6 looks like the kind that's going to feed. I think 19.6 looks like the kind that can go to OYE and get in that sale and be right there in the heat of them in the middle of Division II, and then sell for a pretty price tag when it's all said and done. Really, really big fan of lot 231 from Halfin.
Again, lot 231, 19-5, Say It, no introduction. Lot 230 hits the ring, and she got everything but her sleeves on as well here. This is lot 230 from Trogdon Show Pigs. This one rolls in, this sporty thing. She's a buckle up, and then out of a never before sow. And I don't think that we have to talk about the successes that the Trogdon firm has done over and over and over, and particularly when we talk about Oklahoma Youth Expo. I mean, I would say over the last short period of 5 years or so, I don't know that anybody has had as much of a dominance of role there at the top end of that particular show as this firm. And it's because of females like this that they allow to leave the herd. And it's amazing that you even have that opportunity. I know you've alluded to that a time or two already, Evan, but this one right here has to be one to catch your attention when she hits the ring.
Yeah, and her mom's a littermate sister to In-Game. Incredible gilt from the Trogdon crew. They're another one, kind of like I talked about earlier. Just a firm that sows and females from their place have worked for numerous breeders across the countryside, and I can give you 5 or 6 of them that came from their house right now that are as relevant as any of them. Man, this gilt just screams quality to me. An awesome show gilt, an awesome sow. You study that one's toes and just her angles. Man, that one looks like the real good ones usually look. Congratulations to the Trogdon crew. I like that one a bunch.
Lot 229 from CNC Show Pigs. She comes into the ring next. Here, this will be the very first one I think that we've talked about today. That's sired by the great Slaps Boar, back on a no introduction sow from CNC.
Yeah, I was happy to see that Slim got enough gas in his tank to get to the pig sale this week, and brings us a very good gilt that he's been telling me about for a long time, and I've got several snaps of this gilt. This thing is just as wild looking in person as I thought she was on the social medias. That's a huge arm, And it says here in his notes that she's out of the same sow family as the $140,000 pig that Premium Blend bought there a couple weeks ago at Kings One, who was one of my favorite pigs of the fall so far. And I think this gilt here comes to us just screaming quality again, and from a sow line and from a firm that are no stranger to winning gilt shows. Slim did good here. This is going to be lot 229 from CNC.
Very, very high-end quality gilt there. You love that one. You touched about mentioning just the size of forearm and bone density and bone work that you can put on such a little pig right there. That's pretty much unreal. If you want to see what a truly stout one looks like, that's still neat and clean about her head and neck and pole, man, that one does it. Lot 228 is the next gilt in from Todd Show Pigs and Gary and the crew there. I don't know how they do it, just year after year. Just keep blanketly putting these things out. This gilt here, this chromed up gilt, she would be a strictly business and then back on a nomad sow. And again, I know you'll read the heritage there and what all that this sow has done, and then what she's recently done, particularly I think ties to this female. But just study another one, and it comes from a firm that understands and knows what it takes to make high-end, high-quality ones to play at the highest level, and still yet think about that they're offering this one to you to give you that same opportunity. This is lot 228 from Gary Todd Show Pigs and his family. Strictly business, nomad.
Yeah, I love this gilt, Todd. It says her nomad mother was also the mom to our PT gilt last fall that sold for $15,000 to the Hammock crew. They sold their first pig out of her the other night for $14,000. I got to see that gilt, and she was very, very good. I think this one here from Gary just looks like the ones that win there in March and are right there at the top of Division II and are competitive. And then, you think about what the resale value of this one will be at 270, 280 pounds with that kind of look out through her front end and that kind of bone work and just comfort. Man, I think the sky's the limit here. Sired by the Strictly Business Sport. There's been a lot of good pigs out of him so far. Really nice one here from Todd, lot 228.
Really excited about this next one coming in here, and it's lot 227 from D-Man Genetics, and this Dusty man is coming back, boys. I don't really know what to tell you here, but Dusty's been around this business for a long time. He had a great deal of success when he played the game there with the crossbreds a few years back, and done it there. I don't know how many times that he put a thumping on them there at the Oklahoma Youth Expo with them blue ones, and he got serious about putting these red ones together a few years ago. And I'm just going to tell you that he's on the mindset right now to make these things as good as anybody in the country. I had the opportunity to stop by and spend some time there with him the other night. We both lived through a tornado and a rainstorm and all yet, but it was very, very fun. These guys have done a remarkable job. I just feel blessed that we have the opportunity to bring this one and offer it to you today. Not only just to have this gilt of this quality here at the ring today, but also to give you a great indication of what that they're doing and what they're putting together there at the farm. Lot 227, D-Man Genetics. This gilt here would be sired by the popular Main Man boar there at Premium Blend. Her mother is a 76.
Yeah, Dusty, one of the better people in our industry and one of the funner people to talk to. And says here the mother of this gilt was third overall in Champion Duroc at Muskogee Regional and was a littermate to the reserve Duroc gilt at 21 OYE. Last year, she produced a bear for the Mabry family, was Champion Duroc at McLennan County, Texas, as well as reserve grand overall Ring A, Champion Duroc Ring A and B at Mansfield there. Man, a really, really nice one from Dusty, and he knows how to put them together. Extremely, extremely good. The Main Man thing has been so good for so many people across the country, and I don't know why it wouldn't work at his place. And I think a 76 sow on the bottom side of that certainly never helps. Really, really nice one here in lot 227, D-Man Genetics.
Lot 226 comes in from Sites Livestock, and again, I told you guys that these Chesters were going to come, and they're going to keep coming, and you're going to see them all year long. I promise you. This gilt here, I know I had the chance to swing down and see Ryan and Wendy the other day, and it didn't take long. Ryan had this one out on the carpet, and I know he's very, very proud of this one, and you can see why when you study this one. She's sired by the burner phone boar back on a Russian sow. Again, we talk about breeders and that have their heart into something and what that they want to do. And I know that blood runs pretty deep with these white ones there for the Sites family. And to part with one like this, you don't get to take advantage of it like that very often. So when you do, you better jump in the middle of it, because here's one you can do it with.
Yeah, Ryan, man, been making good Chesters a long time here. Says this one's mother is a litter mate to the backyard boar there that sold to Upper Hand last year. And then the mother's pedigree, if you want to go farther out, reads Ruchin, ambitious box office mom. Ryan says not only a killer show gilt, but definitely can be a great sow to put in any program. And I think that's so true. These Chester gilts here today are phenomenal. And as somebody who's kind of getting into the Chester game, looks like it's going to be deep water because these things are good all the way through this sale. And a very, very good one here from Sites Livestock, 226.
Lot 225 will be the next one in. She comes to us from 4C Show Pigs, and again, a family that's just done a remarkable job of putting these Berkshire type things together. And please take note there on your screen there. It says she's a dark cross, and that's exactly right. She's sired by the shots fired boar, and then back on a Mardi Gras sow. I'll let Evan get a little bit more in depth with you in terms of the pedigree, but if you want to run that Berkshire jackpot circuit and play hardball all day, I would say this is a good one to start with and to play with, because she was bred, she was put together, and it was meant to be from the beginning to breed one and make one to win shows, because that's the only way that they're looking at it in the game they're playing.
Yeah, Clater Group, good friends of ours, and man, they have a passion for Berkshires. I'll tell you, this female was a gilt that sold in the gilt sale there at OYE. She was kind of calico Berkshire marked, and talked to Dave there and said, man, I think you need to buy that thing and breed her Berkshire and see what happens. Her first litter there, she makes the champion Berkshire at Coba, reserve Berkshire at OYE, and then she's just continued on. She would have made the champion Berkshire at Fort Smith. Last week would have made the champion Berkshire at Kern County, California. That's always very, very tough. This sow does not miss, and I will tell you that her littermate brothers are gone. They sold them. They were absolutely phenomenal, and they went all over the countryside to some of the better homes in the country. I think this gilt, if you want to show Berkshire week in and week out and jackpot that thing, man, I think she's going to have a great run. You take that one home and put her in the sow lot, and she's going to make you a lot of money. I can tell you that right now. Funny footnote, the best man sow on the bottom side of her pedigree, Todd, is actually Blindside's mom. That's a sow I would have sold Rick back in the day. Really, really neat gilt here. This will be lot 225 from 4C.
A great-granddaughter of Best Man. Enough said. Real excited about this next one coming in. I know Evan talked about our trip up here about 2 o'clock this morning, and this one highlighted the trip. Lot 224 comes to us from TL Livestock. This Hereford gilt, she hits the ring, and I know know this is one, and again, we talk about those that are slated for particular events and what they're set out to do, and that's where this gilt has been slated for from the beginning, is to come to the she sale. This is a Versace out of a Gorilla Outlaw. I will tell you right now, I've already been told, and have a little side note, that not only are we looking at a high-end, high-value Hereford female here and what her worth is, but it's only going to increase once her littermate brother sells. So, you know, those of you that think about that, again, we talk about the value today and the value of them on down the road. Her value on down the road may be greater than what it even appears to be today. So lot 224, Hereford female.
Yeah, this one's not normal. I think just a wild looking creature for a Berkshire. Man, she is short, or I'm sorry, a Hereford. She is so elevated up through her front end, and these TL guys have been doing a very, very good job here. In the notes, says her mother was the 2022 champion Hereford gilt at Coba. She raised the champion in 23. Sounds like the pedigree matches the phenotype. That one's just different. And if you want to show a Hereford female this winter, I would tell you to figure out a way how to get this one bought. And if you don't, plan on getting beat by her, because 224 here from TL is extremely good.
Our next gilt to hit the ring here, talk about generations of winners and breeders that has been doing it consistently at the highest level. This is lot 223 from Richie Livestock, and Tyler was real quick to tell me that he was offering a very special one here, and I know one that he's very proud of. This gilt here would be a Staten Fax back on a Black Mamba. I'm sure there's a long, long list of winners behind this one and what all that he's done, because he's done it time and time and time and time again. And this one looks like she has all the positive parts and pieces to do the same some of those have.
Yeah, Tyler makes winning pulling shows look easy, just to be real honest with you. Says he stepped back and used some frozen here. The result was awesome. This is the best Staten Fax gilt we've offered. Sal was reserve at OYE in 21, which would have made her a litter mate to that $60,000 gilt that year. That was extremely good. Tyler goes on to tell you about how stout and square she is, but I think anyone here at the preview or online can see that. Man, this thing's maturity pattern, I think, is so spot on for a Poland female. Like this one a whole bunch. This will be lot 223 from Richie Livestock.
Two. It's the next one to come into the ring from Morrow Farms, and this gilt here, this blue gilt, is a very, very unique one in my mind. Again, this is one I had the opportunity to swing in and see the other night, this group, and seen all of these gilts, and I'll be the first to tell you, she may not be the fat and fleshy one that some of them look, but I want you to just study one here in terms of her skeletal build, her bone, the density, foot quality, just all of the attributes that it takes to feed into a really, really good big one, and to do so in a blue pattern. This gilt here would be sired by the Cotton Appenbohr, and then her mother would be a Savage sow that originated there from the Morgan firm. Ross and the crew there has had great success with so many of these things. You talk about one that I think you can just take home, you put her on feed, and not only is she going to get better every day, I think she's going to give them all you want there at the end.
Yeah, and I think this one's resale value in March, I think, will be extremely, extremely good, because I can just picture that one as a 290-pound fat, fluffy show gilt, and guys thinking about breeding sows and taking her home and putting her in the sow lot. That's the kind that trips my trigger every day. I know Ross and them sold some mates of these online very, very well here a few days ago. Really, really good one here in 222. Says the mom came from Kurt Morgan. She was an off-the-farm purchase as a baby there for $7,500, and obviously out of Cotton Appen, who's done a very, very good job so far. Lot 222, Murrow Farms.
This next gilt to hit the ring here will be lot 221, and comes from our good friend Cantrell Show Pigs. Jeremy, I know, is very, very excited and high on this particular female, and rightfully so. And everybody that's been around the ring industry knows of the quality and the herd that the Cantrells have put together and consistently done. And I know by my stop there the other day, I was just really impressed with the depth all the way through that entire set. And with that said, this is one that popped to the top pretty quick when we looked at the females and what the potentials might be to make their way down here to she sale. And that's what we found in this particular gilt here. She's sired by the Judgment Day boar, and then out of a JoJo sow. It's obvious, everybody can see there, she's had a little bit of work done on her undercarriage there. I know Evan may want to touch a little bit more on that, but JC, he knows that. He wants you to know that. He's going to guarantee that. Put that behind, because when you study one in terms of joints, bones, flexibility, looseness of skeleton, and this one's build, I think we've got a very, very unique individual in the ring.
Yeah, I saw this one there a couple days ago, and I get into this one pretty hard, fast, and in a hurry, and I'll tell you, she does have a little swelling there on the bottom side. She had just a little bit of a bump. JC went ahead and got that taken care of, and she's still carrying just a little bit of a swelling. I hope that bothers you guys, because if it does, we will buy this one tonight. I really, really like this gilt from Jeremy. She's a 221 Judgment Day JoJo Kingpin. That's a sow that would have came from Jesse. That's done a very, very good job so far. Like that one a whole bunch from the Cantrell firm.
Lot 220 is the next gilt to come into the ring, and she comes to us from Steve and Mark Gray. And again, great friends of ours, and someone that we don't have to say too much about, because I don't know if there's anybody that's much more special to Blake and I than that family and what they've done. And every time that we have an event, it seems like Mark finds a way to have an elite one to offer for us. And we're real proud and thankful for the friendships and the acquaintances we have here, particularly with this one, Lot 220. She's a buckle up. She's back out of the old Little Bro sow. And I don't think that we have to say a whole lot about that. But Evan, I guess I'll let you make some comments about this one's bone and hair and density.
Yeah, because I dig all those things, Todd, about this one. Again, she brings those to the highest. Incredible gilt here from Mark, and one that, you know, if you study her pedigree, buckle up, Little Bro, no intros, aunt. That pedigree's worked for a lot of people around the country. This thing has got show gilt written all over, but I still think she's plenty dual purpose to be a very, very good sow someday. And I know Mark doesn't put up with a lot there at the farm. They got to be moms, and so that just gives a guy like me even more confidence. Says this one's mom produced the $35,000 PT gilt, the Sweetheart gilt, and Grandam of the $30,000 top shelf prospect, with several daughters in production there. Lot 220 from Mark Gray. Extremely, extremely good one there.
Lot 219 hits the ring next, and comes to us from Wilbur Genetics, and a young man that's doing a phenomenal job, and I just think that the future looks extremely, extremely bright with him. Had a chance to spend some time with him there at the farm the other day, and the cool part about so many of these young people today that's putting these hogs together is, you know, they want to do it, and they obviously want to do it at the highest level, and so many of them want to do it just like someone else, and I don't think that's exactly the approach that Grant's taken. He's doing things the way that he wants to do it. He's doing it with his beliefs, and I think that that's very, very important, and I think long term that's going to pay great dividends for that young man, and it's already started, and you can see it when you have pigs of this quality. This gilt here from Wilbur, she's sired by the Simple Man boar there at Mollett's, and then back out of a no introduction sow. I don't know if anybody had as many top-end females across the board there this last year, on that last year's run and hitting the OIE is what Wilbur did. Here's another one that looks like she's going to give them all they want.
Yeah, Wilbur's certainly a guy that's been on fire, both selling them and just getting them fed and getting them to the backdrop, and a guy that probably raised two of my favorite pigs there at OIE last March, and man, makes me really want to study this gilt because she resembles a lot of those parts and pieces and quality that a lot of Wilbur's genetics have had so far. Man, they're stout, they're heavy duty, and they're short body, but they're still comfortable and they still balance. I like this one a lot. Sorry, bred the Simple Man board there at Mullets, and this gilt is out of a first-time sow, but traces back to the Legacy 5 sow there at Brock Aaron's. It's done a very good job. Lot 219 from Wilbur.
Our next one coming in is lot 218. This is the gilt from Tres Amigos, and again, one that has caught a lot of attention here early on, obviously, and this one's sired by the Messiah boar and then back out of a Quite Frankly sow. Again, another one on our little 2 a.m. run that was quick to be found, and you can do so there when you see one that has just an automatic head and neck carriage like that, and yet that big of bones and feature and density of what this one does, and yet such a cool, clean, collective package, and just extra presence. We love that gilt right there. Lot 218, Tres Amigos, Messiah back on a Quite Frankly sow. Evan, you got a comment?
Yeah, for sure. We've got to buy quite a few gilts here from the Trace Group here over the last few years, and man, they've made very good show gilts, but I'll tell you, they've been incredible generators, and some of the very best ones that we've made here in the last few years have stemmed back to some Trace sows, and I love this thing. She is, like Todd said, automatic there from the side because that is a wild head carriage. I think her paint job is awesome. Once again, she's got the fur dripping off of her. I dig that one right there from Tres Amigos. That's going to be lot 218.
We talked about the blue ones that would be offered here today, and obviously this is another one that makes her way to the very top of many short lists. This is lot 217. This is the gilt from Heimer Hampshires. She'll be one of the first gilts that's going to be made available to you here publicly that was sired by the Absolute boar. We talk about boars you're going to hear more and more about. I promise you Absolute is going to be a dominant sire there about the third week of October there in Lawton. I can already just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag just from what that I've seen at this point. And then this one obviously out of one of the trenches sows there that lays there on the heel. Here's a special one. We don't have to make a lot of bones about it. They brought this one and did so purposely. I think Jesse and the crew there understands the importance of that blue division there at OIE. They wanted to get right in the thick of it, and I'd say this one can get you there.
Yeah, I think the Absolute thing has probably been as intriguing to me as any boar that's been out so far, or the pigs that have been out so far this fall as we've been through Texas and now into Oklahoma. Man, there's just been an Absolute or two that have lit me up, and I think this gilt just reads quality. Man, I love that thing's head shape, and I love her skull. Her shape up high is awesome. Really good blue gilt. And guys, from this firm, you think about the resale value of that one in March. It will be absolutely astronomical if you run a hairy blue one in here, bred like she's bred from the place that she's from. It'll be silly what that one will cost. I think it'll pale in comparison tonight. I'd get that one bought. That's going to be lot 217 from Heimer Hampshires.
This cool little thing here hits the ring in lot 216, and we talked again. I made mention about an individual that does his own thing and does it quietly and is doing it probably as successfully, with that being said, as anybody else there is in the country, and that's Strieber. here on with his lot 216 gilt. She's sired by the Easy 4U boar. That's a boar that he raised back out on a tricked out sow. That sow herd and that sow family, I mean, it all just traces right to one another. He's very intensely bred them things, put them together the way he wants to. He's a little stingy at times in terms of being one that allows somebody to go into the heart and grab one out of there that you may want. So when it comes an opportunity to do it, I'd say you better do so. This is one of the more intriguing sets of pigs that I've seen as a whole in terms of the depth. This is one of the more intriguing gilts that I thought that I've seen that was going to be coming to the she sale. And when she hits the ring, I think you can see why.
Yeah, certainly the tricked out lineage just bleeds through in this one. If you study the way she looks and just her neatness of head and her ring presence and her comfort out here, having a little trick on both sides of the pedigree, I think never hurts. And man, I think this is a very, very neat gilt. I think this one will certainly get big enough there for March to get after them. And if a guy's got an alternate plan and wants to kind of coast this thing around a little bit and maybe show her at a little later date, I don't think you'd be wrong for doing that either. I think she's very dual purpose that way. This is lot 216 from Strieber. Easy for you, tricked out. Here I am, never before.
This lot 215 comes in next, and it's obviously the red on the top of this gilt is way more attractive than the red on top of the head of the guy behind her. But we really like Kyle and what he's put together and what he's brought. And I know that this particular female here is very, very special to him. This lot 215. We've stayed in contact about this one leading up to time, and it totally makes sense. If you remember Evan, the set of gilts and stuff that he had there this last spring, and what we've seen there on the Jackpot Circus, and then making the way into Coba and then on to OIE, the TKO ones just kept surfacing. They kept coming and coming with quality, and I know this one right here, she has that same representation and look of what so many of those did. This gilt here is sired by the Rightfully So boar back on a Hall Pass sow for TKO.
Really enjoy talking about pigs and sows and boars and things with Kyle, and just his philosophy of breeding livestock. And you know, he swings for the fences, and I love that about him. And when he does that, man, he makes animals that look like this. And you study how big that one's tail is right there at the top side of her hip, and just let that be an indicator to everything else that follows, because man, she is so stout in terms of her head, but still neat looking in her throat latch, big bones and uncomfortable out here. Neat gilt here. Says the grandma produced our 3rd overall crossbred at OIE, and her mom is our very best young sow. And if you know Kyle, he means that. That's not just smoke. I promise you, this one's mom is his very best young sow, and that says a lot for me. Really, really good one here in lot 215 from TKO, Rightfully So, Hall Pass, Secret Society.
Lot 214 will be the next gilt to come into the ring, and she comes to us from Whittington Show Pigs. This is a purebred spot female. This gilt here is sired by the Speak Up boar, and her mother would be a Say When. And again, we talk about families, and we talk about breeders that have been able to put them together and do it consistently, time and time again. And there's nobody that has played this game here any higher level than what the Whittington crew has. You know, with these spotted females particularly, they did not have very many of those this time. I was at the house there the other night, and we were talking and discussing things, and there wasn't many. So when you got a chance to get one, you better tie in. You know, and that Kendall will tell you exactly straight up what he thinks of these things, how they're going to feed, what they need to look like, the type, the kind, and everything, I would highly, highly encourage you that if you're interested in laying in a tremendous spotted female, this better be one that you at least call and talk and discuss the Kindle about, because I know they got a great deal of confidence in lot 214.
Yeah, lot 214 from the Whittington crew. Says the mom's a first-time sow. She's a mate to the reserve bred OBSE, 23, and was fourth in Class 1 at OYE. Sow looks to be a future generator for us. She's the granddaughter of the reserve grand at Coba 22, whose mate was grand at Coba 22 as well. So really, really good one here from Kendall, a guy that's been in his own league in terms of raising spotted females here the last couple years. Everybody else has just been kind of fighting for second. If you're in the market for a spot female, I think this is certainly one to look up. This will be lot 214 from Whittington.
Lot 213 is the next one to come into the ring, and she comes to us from our good buddy Olson Farms. They're Blaine and Christy. They're on the in the days here of adding a new one to their family, and obviously Blaine couldn't make the trip down, but I sent one here that I think represents them and their firm extremely, extremely well. This particular red female that comes to us, she's out of the Swing Your Sword boar. I had the chance to see that boar there at Platts. They're on a farm tour, and I'm going to tell you, he is one very, very impressive red sire, and I think you can see that in this particular female when you talk about one's skull shape, their bone, her feet, her toes, what she does for what's she does is so hard to make in so many of these red ones today. I think this one puts a lot of those great positive attributes together. This is lot 213 from Olson Farms.
Yeah, Olson brings one in that, man, is so rugged. You just study that one's hair texture, study her bone work and her ankle size and her forearm, and then out through her jaw, and that one looks like a good Duroc sow should look. But I think a very, very good show gilt before she gets there. That thing has got some big toes, some outlying pieces. Really, really nice one here from Olson, lot 213.
Our next gilt to come into the ring will be lot 212, and she comes to us from Cooper and Flash, and thank the Lord we have more Flash than we do Cooper here. And when you look down here on this this gilt here, I think you really have to like what this one brings to the table. I stopped in there at the farm the other night, and we went through these through this set that they have, and just a very, very high-end, high-quality set all the way together. But this Poland gilt is one that surfaced, made her way to the top with great deal and dignity all the way. I mean, just openness of blade, roundness of rib, shape, and muscularity. So many things that's really hard to put together, and some of them in this breed. And I think she does it, and does it in a great handling package. She floats around the ring. You really, really got to like the presence that this one gives you. Lot 212. This gilt is sired by the 33-1 bore and out of a No Clue sow.
Yeah, different looking one for a Poland female here from Cooper and Flash, and says here that her mom raised a champion gilt at Southwest District last spring. We don't offer many Poland gilts to go back to Dorothy, so here's your chance. And if you know George and Ashley, you know that's the truth. They do not let a lot of gilts go out of some of those key elite kind of females, and one that you got to bring to an event like this. Certainly appreciate them dropping that one in, because I think that's a very, very good Poland gilt that we're going to hear from later on this spring.
Our next one here to come into the ring is 211, and again, one of our good buddies, and one we love to probably harass more than we do anything, but we love being around is DJ and Amara Sanders Show Pigs. They bring us a purebred Yorkshire gilt, and again, we talk about a firm that bleeds this Yorkshire breed. He does it and does it every day, fighting it day in and day out, and someone that understands. And I think that's a critical keynote that we could talk about on so many, Evan, is having the understanding of what it takes, not only from a genetic standpoint, but then yet when you put one together like this that has an understanding of what it takes to be successful in the show ring, when you look at the size, the type, the kind, the moderation that this one exemplifies to represent the Yorkshire breed, I think we've got a very, very good one. This gilt here would be sired by the All By Myself boar and then back out of a hit stick sow. Again, this is lot 211 from Sanders Show Pigs.
Yeah, this one just looks different for a Yorkshire female. That's a big square front arm and a big rear leg going away that's got spread up high. DJ makes them tough and good looking and still at the same time. I like this Yorkshire female. She looks like one that's going to win in March when it counts. Certainly a guy that's no stranger to winning those shows. It says here that this one's mom is Stick This' sister. That's a very popular Yorkshire boar there that he sold to Premium Blend. That's done a very, very good job so far. Really nice one here from DJ. This is going to be lot 211, Sanders Show Pigs.
Lot 210, next one comes to us from Heron Farms, and Uncle Timmy with another one of the white crosses that we talked about in terms of the depth and the kind and the quality of what we have here, again, we come in here to the ring with one that looks like an outlier for what she is in terms of her build, the extension, her length from her forearm forward. The view she gives you, but does it in such a stout foundational package in terms of her bone and the density and the foot size that this one has. She's sired by the white feather boar that's there at Winter Livestock, and that boar continues to just surface not only for them but for other people. When our travels, we're seeing more and more of them pigs surface to the top at many different herds, and you got a real advantage right here with this one. She says here she's out of a walks alone sow. I'm sure you may have some comments to add to this, Evan, but keep in mind the quality of gilt that Timmy has here is offering you no different than the one he did here last year. The gilt that he sold out of here last year was one of the marquee females that went through the ring here when we sold her, and then yet she did throughout the entire show's career, and then was one that we talk about the high-end, high-value added ones at the Oklahoma Youth Expo and what she did and did for the Thompson family. So when this one sells here tonight, you keep that in mind of what they've done in the past.
Yeah, anytime you get the chance to talk to Uncle Tim about sows and females at his place, you can just feel the passion that runs through his voice about those sows and the effort that he's put into gathering some of the best ones. And says here that her mom is a littermate to the Champion York at Dallas. Sire's a littermate to the Champion York at Houston. Grandma's a littermate to the Champion York at San Antone. 7 killer littermate males to this gilt are very popular at home. I think one of the better white ones we've seen all day today. Uncle Timmy, thank goodness his pigs are better than his shirt selection. I get into this white one a whole bunch.
Do y'all have a golf course here in Wellston? Maybe he's golfing this afternoon. Lot 209 comes to us next, and I'm sure it's well past lunchtime there out there in Pennsylvania, and our good buddy Hilty is probably into the Angry Orchards by now. But here's his consignment for the she sale and for this edition this year. And again, a gentleman that understands the industry as much as anybody and what it takes. And I know that one that he brought this one, and this one has a stamp on it. The stamp is real simple. It's what he wants to represent himself what he wants to represent in terms of when he puts one out and offer one to the public. This is what he's bringing to you. And I know this. He's not selling a lot of pigs down here this time. Obviously, it's not a secret. He's our judge at the Oklahoma Youth Expo, and we're certainly excited and proud to have him step in the ring, a person of his magnitude. But today we're very, very proud that he's participating once again in another one of the Kennedy Venture events that we have, and through Kennedy Sales, and we're super excited about Hilty. This gilt here, she's a pace car. And then obviously her mother is one of the great kingpin sows. And I don't know how many times we've said kingpin when we talk about great females and what lies behind them. But I don't care if you want to buy one and you want to win shows, if you want to buy one to make it be your next foundation sow, or if you just want to invest some dollars today to cash in a big check here in March, you got a lot of opportunities right here with Lot 209.
Yeah, Will, another one of those guys that, man, his sows have worked for people all over the country, and maybe as prominent as any of them. This one here looks like another one of those kind that can make an awesome show gilt, but for somebody like me, looks like the one that I want to take home and put in the sow lot and breed on, because the sow line behind her is as good as anything in the countryside. Really, really like this one from Hilty, 209. That's going to be a pace car kingpin.
This next one to hit the ring here is Lot 208, and comes in from Dieterding Genetics, and KJ sporting this one around. And this gilt here is one of the key individuals that I think I've seen on my little tour and trip, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that here in a moment. But keep in mind, this gilt here would be sired by the picture of this boar, the popular Bobo boar, that I think is going to become more and more popular. And then this one here is out of a never-before sow. You can see this gilt here. You see her high-end or high-quality, everything that she represents in terms of her look, her design. We all know what the Dieterdings have been able to do time and time again when it comes to gilt show arenas and rings, and how many that they've had. I don't know, Evan, you may know the exact count of how many winners they've had. The thing I'm going to get to the most importantly is for you to understand that when this one sells to her, when her littermate brother sells, whatever this one costs, it's going to look very, very cheap after you see him hit the ring here in about 3 weeks, because he is an absolute man-child. And again, he is sired by this litter here is sired by picture this, and then back on a never-before sow.
Yeah, Todd, that never-before sow would have originated from Bobo, and is a mate to the Grand Gilt overall at American Royal. Her first litter, she raised a class-winning and cell-maker gilt at OYE, Show My Braxy Sharp. And her second litter, she raised full swing at Premium Blend, and also the Grand Bear at Nebraska State Fair for the Molina family. Had the opportunity to see that bear, a very, very good animal. Sounds like this sow is going to be kind of one of those ones here going forward at the Dieterding place. This gilt is as wild and as out there as anything we've seen come through the ring today. Very, very good one from Kevin.
Lot 207 comes to us next, and this is the Colson Show Pig consignment. And I know Evan's probably going to be a little shy in terms of talking this one, but I know this is one that very, very proud of, very excited about. And anytime that you can have a big time ball game at your home field, it's always something. And these boys took it very serious this time. We've talked about the quality of the blues, and I don't know if we walk an equally part of an intriguing one through here as what this one right here is. The Colson Show Pig firm right now is consistent and understanding, and is maybe at the top of their game right now as much as they've ever been, and that's saying a mouthful when you look at all the things that they've accomplished over the past leading up to today. This gilt here, this beautiful blue, she again is sired by the popular Buckle Up board there. It's a Premium Blend. This one's back out of it. Here I Am sow. Again, we have lot 207, Colson Show Pigs.
Yeah, Todd, you hit the nail on the head for us, and this is a gilt that's been slated to come here for a long time. We've not been shy about showing her to people at the farm. We've turned down a lot of dollars for this thing so far and just said, no, we're bringing her here, and you guys can buy her here. Her mom is originated from Sloan, has done a awesome job here so far on 2 litters, and I'll just tell you a little side note. We're going to sell her mate brother this weekend at King's, and he is as crazy looking, as heavy boned, and as wild as anything that we have made so far this fall. And this litter's tremendous. Her other brothers will be highlights in our upcoming online sale. This one is the best show gilt of the deal. And I'll be honest, I mean, we want this one to win the Blues at Oklahoma City because we think she's that good. Like this one a whole bunch.
The next gilt here to come into the ring will be lot 206, and she comes to us from Mollett Genetics. And again, great friend John Mollett, and certainly when we say no introduction to the arena, that holds a major term in today's industry and what he's been able to do and put his herd mark on. But this particular gilt here was one. She was an easy find for me when I walked into the little barn there at Mollett's the other day. She laid back in there in the pen with about 12 or 14 others in a pen. A lot of you guys kind of single pen your hogs nowadays, and it's not quite like that there at John's. They're just all kind of piled in there together. But when this one stood up, man, she stood up with the same presence as what she has when you're looking at her float across the ring here today. And this gilt here would be sired by the Pass the Hat boar. That was the $170,000 Sloan boar that sold there at Perfect Timing last year, and we're starting to see several of those pigs starting to surface. And again, that boar is going to be another one that we're going to start seeing a lot of progeny out of here in the next few weeks at these sales. This one has a Hush Money Mama. My understanding is that Hush Money sow was a very popular gilt there that come out of the Cobb herd. But I think we talk uniqueness, we talk, the pedigree, we talk about the firm, we talk about where she comes from, we talk about her resale value, whatever the hell you want to talk about, you can say it in this one here, lot 206, Mollett Genetics.
Yeah, honestly, Todd, I don't think a lot needs to be said because, man, this one just has all the right parts and pieces to get very, very special someday. Mr. Mollett knows how to assemble good livestock. I think it's even cooler that she's been in a pen with 12 or 14 other ones because that tells me she's genuine and she's real and she's going to continue to get better. Man, I like this one a whole bunch. That's lot 206 from Mollett.
This next one to hit the ring is lot 205, and she comes from Day Family Show Pigs. And Justin and his family, I mean, they just quietly do it, and they do it at the highest degree and highest level, and you got to appreciate what they do and how they go about it. And I talk about firms that put together awesome sow herds and females, and man, this is just another one that's got to be right there towards the top of the list in that regard. This gilt here is sired by the Good Company boar, and then back out of a no intro sow. Another one we talk about females that are slated for particular events and sales, and this one's had a tag on her for a little bit that this is where she would be, and right here's where she's at.
Yeah, it says here we're excited to offer 2211, and the she seller grandma was lot 1 in Hilty's production sale this summer that sold for over $70,000 for half interest. Her mother was our $25,000 purchase from True Genetics in this summer's Bred for the Success sale. If that isn't enough sour power for you, her sire, Good Company, is quite frankly out of the Cinderella sow that Sloan and Hilty purchased at Expo. Justin Day, another one of those guys that knows what good livestock look like, knows how to breed them, just continuously puts out good stuff in a place that we've certainly benefited from. Really like this one from Justin. That's going to be lot 205, Day Family Show Pigs, Good Company, no intro, never before.
the next gilt here to hit the ring will be lot 204, and she comes from our buddy at Boble Farms, Ben and his family, and obviously they come through and made their way on into Cowtown and for the Vera event there tomorrow and for the weekend, and he couldn't be here with us today, but certainly left his mark here. I don't know that you have to be in attendance when you have one like this. It represents himself. We've got a very, very unique one here. We talk about those that have parts and pieces like not some of the others have, and this is another one. She's sired by that Absolute boar. That was the boar that he sold last year that the Heimer crew purchased, stands on the heel. And then this one's out of a very potent overruled sow. But I think outside of just the pedigree, her pedigree alone is very, very high end and high value. But study one in terms of skeletal width, shape, muscle, and putting it all together. She's not the most cooperative out here that we've run through the ring today. But man, I tell you what, when you get on top of one and study one, this one has every one of the parts and pieces we're looking for.
Yeah, I've been another one of those guys that just continuously kicks out females that make other people famous. And I think the same can be said here. It says 4 littermate brothers averaged $14,500 at Lackey's Customer Appreciation Sale 2 weeks ago. We decided to offer one of the best gilts in that litter. Mom is also a littermate to picture this as Mom. I think that's an awesome thing about her. Is just the sow family behind her and the quality that she represents. A very, very good one here from Boble.
We move into lot 203 here, and we're on the final stretch here of some of these gilts here to offer on the sale tonight. And obviously, those of you that are here, we welcome you. We want you to come and join us at Butcher Barbecue. We love that place. We like Levi and the crew there, and man, I tell you what, the atmosphere is like no other for a little pig sale. But we hope you can attend. Those of you that can't, obviously you can be bidding on CCi.Live tonight, and obviously follow along with everything on Kennedy Ventures through the website and through the social media channels. Lot 203 is the next one that hits the ring, and she's the Duroc female that represents the Byers Farms consignment this year. This gilt here is sired by the branded boar and then out of a 76 sow. And there's lots of times that we get to say Brett saves us a unique one, or Brett has a unique one, or Brett does this or does that. And again, we can put all of those same terms and those same philosophies, because he did save us a very, very special one. He's offering a very, very good female here tonight. I don't know, Evan, I know you've had a lot of success with these Byers hogs over the years. I know we've seen a lot of the ones that he's raised and what he's got along with. I don't know that he's offered us one like this that comes in that stout of skull and that kind of bone work and feature is what this one here does in lot 203.
Yeah, I agree, Todd. We've fed a lot of pigs from Brett, and I've honestly tried to buy a few gilts from Brett that he's sent down on leases and different things like that, and he is very stingy and says no very quickly and really honestly means it and won't even negotiate with me or anything. So when he drops one like this in here, I think it makes a person like me pay attention. The cool thing is as good as this one is in person, I think her pedigree is equally as good. Her mom's a 76, and that'd be the same sow that made Set the Curve, or that's a littermate's sister to Set the Curve. And so far, she has made right decision at Harkey Farms, champion Duroc and reserve Grand Barrow overall at Hale County, 2 premium cell bears at Houston, the 4th overall at Southeast Regional, reserve Duroc and champion Land of Lincoln at Illinois State Fair, class-winning Duroc gilt at Illinois State Fair, and a class-winning Duroc bear at Illinois State Fair. A guy that's no stranger to winning Duroc shows. Very, very good one here. That her pedigree matches her quality. I like that one a whole bunch. That's going to be lot 203 from Byers Farms.
The next gilt here to hit the ring will be lot 202, and again, another one that comes from one of our great friends with this calico down-eared spotted female, this purebred spot gilt. comes from Swecky Genetics, and Zach is one that I tell you what, when you talk about true hog breeders that does it and does it his way and does it the way that he wants to do it, I don't know if there's anybody that follows suit quite like that guy. And Blake and I have a lot of fun with Swecky, and one of our great buddies and friends, and we just really admire what he's done here in the Show Pig Arena, and proud of what he brought us here today and what she represents here in Lot 202. This spotted female is sired by Out of the Shadows, back on a Van Wilder sow. And I mean, I think we talk about the value of what you're looking at from a female standpoint, from phenotype, but think about the genetic value behind it of what you can do in a breed that we need something different from time to time, not only from a look but from a pedigree standpoint. I think this one offers a lot of neat pieces and parts that brings to the table. We talk about resale values. We talk about breeding genetics and doing things down the road to put them together. This one right here puts a lot of those positive things together.
Yeah, on the topic of resale values, it seems like OYE after OYE, there's nothing that brings more than the spotted females year after year after year. Those things sell like wildfire. And like Todd said, one like this with a pedigree that's a little bit different from a firm like the Schweckys that just know how to breed livestock, whether it's Charolais cattle or crossbred Barras or spot gilts. They put together quality, and I think they brought you a really nice one here. This is going to be Lot 202 from Schwecky, Out of the Shadows, Van Wilder.
This leads us into Lot 201, and before we get wrapped up here, I just want to make a few comments for those of you that are watching along online. Certainly appreciative of all of you that's tuned in today, and will continue to tune in. Just want to make the comment that the sale will start tonight at 6:30. Start time. We'll be prompt and ready to go there live on CCi. There you can do all of your bidding. For those of you that can't join us there at Butcher's Barbecue, for those of you that can, the doors open at 5 o'clock. If you haven't been to Butcher's, I highly recommend to be here in Wellston, America, just here on the suburbs of Warwick, Oklahoma. You can tour the metropolitan area and everything around. It won't be hard to get in. So I would love to have you join us one way or another. It brings us to Lot 201. We talked about a sale feature. This will be the one that we start the sale with tonight in our 3 years of the she sale. This will be the second time that we've had the opportunity to start the sale with a Chester female, and it makes total sense because back in 21 when we did it, the litter mate to the mother of this one was the one that started the sale there that night, and that started with a sow from Sloan. This one here comes to us this 201 gilt comes to us from the Gortney firm. There is no one in the country that's hotter and putting more dedication into this Chester breed than what they are. I think right now they just recently come off having the Supreme overall there at the Oklahoma Youth Expo. This gilt here is sired by the Change of Plans boar back on a perfect fit sow. The mother of this was the 4th overall gilt there in 22. Certainly one of my very favorite Chester gilts there that showed. She was a litter mate to that she sell gilt that we was talking about, and a litter mate to Burner Phone, which was the boar there that stood at upper hand. So not the most cooperative thing, but Lot 201. Evan, let's hear what you got to say about this creature.
Yeah, the Gortney family, certainly one of the better people in our industry and an interesting guy to talk to and a guy that has a passion for Chesters. Really like this 201, and for a Chester female, man, that one brings some of the craziest parts and pieces you could ever see in one. Elite from the side, and certainly having some of that Sloan blood running through her veins there in this Chester ring is really impressive, and I think one that we're going to hear from, Todd. She's going to win something somewhere, and just kind of depends on where she ends up and where she lands, because ones that are built like that with a hip and hind leg like that just kind of find their way to the top in this breed. Doesn't want to cooperate much, kind of acts like a Chester, but man, she is very elite. Lot 201.
Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to the breeders. Thanks behalf of Kennedy Sales, Kennedy Ventures, all of us. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in to the She Sale here, edition of 2023. Appreciate it. If you got any calls, questions, feel free to reach out to any of the consigners. Call Blake, call myself. We'll be started at 6:30 this evening. Thank each and every one of you.